For all your complaining, you didn't screw up anything.
Well, good. Welcome back to the Video Dadcast. I am your host, Darrell Stevens, and in case this is your first time, this is not a cast just for dads or by dads, but I'm the video dad, so this is my dadcast, so there you go. That's what you get. But today, and to prove that, my very special guest is Katie Fawkes, and she is with Ecamm, so let's welcome Katie now. Hi, Katie.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I'm so glad you're joining us today. And I just love talking all things video content. And you've been in and around video content for quite a while now as the marketing director for Ecamm. You do a lot. I see you a lot. And so I know that's kind of something that is passionate, you're passionate about. And I'd like to hear a little bit about that. But let me tell you a little bit. Tell the audience here a little bit about Katie. Katie is the director of marketing at Ecamm, and she works with live streamers and other content creators. Katie's also the co-host of two video podcasts, The Flow and the VHS Club podcast, correct?
Correct.
All right. Well, those are fun podcasts, and I enjoy them as often as I can. I don't always catch them live, but I do catch them on the replay.
Thank you.
But anyway, so let's talk. I know one of the things you like to do on your podcast is 3 things you may not know about these movies. So right now, I'm going to give the audience 3 things they may not know about you. So number 1, and these are my favorites. Katie lives in a house that was built in the 1700s.
Mhm.
And that's kind of amazing. We'll talk about that a little bit. But you currently have 11 chickens, I believe it is.
I do.
All right. So you're a chicken mom as well as a regular mom.
Yep.
And again, you don't have to be a mom or a dad to be on my show. It's just
No,
that
here I am.
that's, we'll take what we get. And Katie's also a dual citizen of Canada and the US.
Sure am.
So those are some interesting things. So let me ask you this. If a Canadian is lovingly referred to as a Canuck, what is a Canadian American? Is it a Canuckican or Americanuck or
Kayank? A yuck? A yuck?
a yuck?
Oh, no.
Okay, well, we'll just leave it at she's Katie. Okay,
I'm
let's
just
run
kidding,
with
yeah.
that. All right.
Exactly.
So since everybody loves origin stories, how'd you get your start at Ecamm specifically?
Oh my gosh, by pure and total luck.
Yeah.
So I married an American and moved to the United States, and my American husband is much more extroverted than I am. He's quieter,
Okay.
but he is really good at introducing himself to just about anyone and really like getting to know people in the community and getting to know the neighbors. And so when we bought our house in Amesbury, Massachusetts, he immediately signed up for this adult coding class at a
Okay.
new school called Code and Circuit that Ken Aspesley had just founded. And so
Okay.
he got to know
Interesting.
Ken, and they are still close friends. And he and Ken geeked out over all things robotics and tech and
Nice.
coding. He is the mechanical guy to Ken's software guy vibes. And
Okay.
so they became really good friends. And then our families just became really good friends. And so flash forward a few years into the future, and Ken was asking me some questions about marketing and kind of getting to know what I've done full time. And he was like, well, my brother and I, we run this company called Ecamm, and we make this video software. And, we're starting to see more and more people who are marketing people who want to do marketing projects with us, but they had no marketing team, no marketing manager, no marketing
Okay.
people on team. It was just them. And then one person that handled customer support. And so Ken was like, would you ever consider coming on and helping us with marketing, taking a look at like what we could do and talking to these marketing people that are asking us questions? And so I was like, yeah, I
Right.
could do that. So I started
Why
working with
not?
them on it. Yeah, right? Why not? It sounds fun. So I started working with them on a consulting basis and really loved it. Like they're just such a joy to work with and so much fun. And I met Stephanie Garcia and Ian Anderson Gray and all the marketing people that Ken and
Okay.
Glenn didn't want to talk to at the moment about marketing stuff.
Nice.
And so yeah, and then as it ended up that I had changed jobs and I was working at an ad agency, and I just hated it. It
Mhm.
wasn't a great fit for me. I had done agency work years back, but I just didn't like not getting to go deep with the the client that I was working with. I felt like I was spread so thin across all these different clients and projects that I
Okay.
really just didn't get a chance to work kind of closely with anyone. So
Gotcha.
I quit that job and talked with Ken and Glenn, and they were like, "We'd be happy to hire you full time." So I sort of transitioned from consultant and marketing helper person to full time marketing person for Ecamm, and that was like less than a year before the pandemic hit. So
Oh, perfect
I had
timing.
a year to set everything up for Ecamm before things really took off. So it was really amazing luck and timing, and huge thanks to my husband who's chattier than I am and
There you
friendlier
go.
on making those connections.
You do whatever works. And I
Mhm.
know one of the biggest things with Ecamm is the community, the Ecamm
Yep,
Fam. Oh my
yep.
gosh, and that's what I love the most about Ecamm. You know, the software itself is fantastic, and I love using. I mainly use it for recording. Haven't done a lot of live streams yet, but
Mhm.
hopefully, I'm working my way up to that. But I do tutorial videos and things like that. So I
Yeah,
love how Ecamm works. You know, like a production switcher. I'm old school TV station guy, and
I
used
love it.
to working with that kind of thing. So that's the things that I like about Ecamm. But
Mhm.
like I said, the community is amazing, and they're I think one of the biggest things is they're so supportive of others
So
and
supportive, yeah,
loyal. They don't let people, flail. They'll help them out. And it's like,
yeah.
let me show you how to do it. I'll make a video for you and show you how to do it. So it's a great team. So how has it been in your experience building that community?
Mm. Uh, it's it's
Did it
been
build
I mean,
itself
it's somewhat
or
built itself. It's been an
okay.
absolute pleasure. So Ken and Glenn actually originally started a Facebook group when they started working on Ecamm Live. So they
Okay.
had other software before that did different things. And really, I think the reason behind that was that they wanted to get immediate feedback from their customers. So they
Okay.
really wanted to be hands on. They're obviously a small company, and so they really wanted to get that feedback. And Ecamm Live is such a there's a really different experience in a video tool, and particularly in a tool that started as a live streaming tool, because
Okay.
it's inherently scary and big and like a very different experience for people who haven't like you come from a background where it's probably a little bit more comfortable for you, but by and large a lot of our customers it's newer to them. They're
Right.
trying to reach new audiences. They're trying to connect with people and grow communities themselves. And so
Okay.
I think it just sort of like we built it in this space that intentionally we wanted for it to feel like this safe, helpful space where they could connect with us and they could see what each other was working on and up to. And because live streaming is so big and scary and visual, like in everyone's spaces, I think it just became this space where you have to be a little bit vulnerable to be part of the community. And so the
Okay.
vulnerability gives you kind of confidence, helps you to connect with other people. And I feel like it really just built up that way. And obviously then fueled by, global pandemic that,
Right.
vastly increased those numbers and brought people in from all different backgrounds who in many cases were just really hungry for connection. We're really
Mhm.
hungry to learn from each other and chat with each other. And so the more time we all spent together and the more we were helping each other and learning from each other, I think that just continued to deepen those relationships and grow from there. And yeah, I agree with you. I think it's certainly the most valuable part of Ecamm and
Yeah,
really
I
of
think
the
so.
software is the fans, and we've been really lucky that everyone is just so incredibly supportive. We don't, I mean, knock on wood, we haven't really encountered like all that many times or situations where we've had negative experiences there. I mean, by and
Mm,
large, it's just a really positive space, which is like unheard
right.
of in this day and age. So
Yeah, it
thankful
is.
for that.
I rarely see a negative comment, but every once in a while they'll pop up on Facebook group or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to give up Ecamm because it can't do this one thing. It's like, okay, okay, then go ahead. You don't,
Okay,
don't.
yeah, yeah. Hey, everyone, free world. Everyone can do what they
Yeah,
want to do.
that's right.
Yeah.
But the workshops and things like that that you guys put on are amazing.
Mhm.
How difficult is it? Because I know you've worked with Stephanie on some of those. How difficult is it to put together that kind of workshop where you've got so many people participating,
Mm.
presenting? I mean, a logistical nightmare, I would think.
Yeah. Yes and no. It like
Okay.
I've been lucky that from the very start, from the moment that I started at Ecamm, I was almost immediately surrounded by people like Stephanie who are like best in class in marketing and really like have a deep understanding of both marketing as well as video and like event production. And so
Right.
I would say it's way easier with friends and with people you trust. And so
Sure. Yeah.
it's certainly, I'm not to say it's not difficult. It is difficult to run a lot of these workshops and these events, but the benefit is you have a really receptive, kind audience in the Ecamm Fam as a base, and then it obviously grows from there as new people come in and discover us through workshops. And then I always have a support system who's helping me to run these events, someone who's highly capable in the content and also in many cases in the production that we're putting together. So people like
Mhm.
Stephanie not only know her material inside and out, she knows what she's talking about for these events, but also she knows like what to do if things go wrong. She knows how all the technology works. She knows how Ecamm works inside and out. And so yeah, I would say like if you haven't run any of these kinds of events and it's something that you want to do, it's about finding the right tools, but it's also about finding the right people to work with that,
Right.
that can be a support system if something goes wrong. It doesn't have to be a ton of people. We do these by and large with a really small team, but
Right.
having
Yeah.
someone else to bounce ideas off of and be there to help if something goes wrong goes a really long way.
Yeah, and that's where experience really helps people with
Mhm.
experience troubleshooting because live events, I mean, live happens. Things are going to
Sure
go wrong.
does.
It's just,
Oh yeah.
it's the way it is. So how you respond to that is where it gets critical. All right.
Yep.
So I know it's a little late. We can't really talk about Creator Camp for this year, but Creator
Oh,
Camp is a huge thing
yeah.
that you guys do, and I know you're full so far. So I'm working on trying to get in on next year. So we'll see how that plays out. But tell me a little bit about tell me a little
Yeah.
bit about Creator Camp and how, what is it?
Oh my gosh. It's a weird, wonderful, wacky event. It really started. We were going to all of these, not trade shows, but like, consumer events. So like,
Okay.
events in the podcasting and in the like marketing space and in the social media space. And we were setting up these like really detailed, booths that like allowed people to really play with the technology and
Okay.
and
A little
all of the
hands
gear that
on.
yeah, get really hands on with everything. And we were
Nice.
noticing that the more and more of these events that we went out to, there was always this group of Ecamm fam that were local to the area or were attending the event. So we were always setting up these like booths, but also spending time with Ecamm fam and building out these
Okay.
like meetups and events. And the more that we were doing that, the more we were finding it was less and less new people that were coming in and discovering a lot about us and more people that were like existing customers that just really wanted to spend time with us and to learn and to be part of a community in real life. And so the creator camp concept was really born out of that. It really comes down to like it's a it's like part meetup, part influencer summit, part retreat, that's really dedicated to being in real life with Ecamm fam. So it's meant
Okay.
for the fam. It's meant to really dive deep into the topics that matter to our customers. And from our perspective, it's about building those relationships and empowering everyone that uses our software to be their absolute best. Because when they are their best, they look their best, they feel their best, they're pulling more people into their sphere. And those people are finding out about Ecamm just by seeing how successful and how professional a lot of these broadcasts and these productions look. So for us, it's really a great opportunity just to spend time with the fam and learn from them and learn with them.
Nice.
It's structured in a very weird and fun way in that it
Okay.
it is we lean heavily into the camp theme. So
Okay.
we have
That's
camp
good.
counselors, we have cabins, we go basically through a series of 5 hands-on workshops that are about an hour and a half in length where we work collaboratively together as a team. There's a lot of healthy competition. There's some fun like parties and kind of excursions and fun things we do alongside it. But it's meant so that if you're brand new or if you've been doing this for forever, if you're in video production or you're running a live stream for your church, you can get to know each other and learn from each other. The creator that's been doing it for years is going to learn something from someone that's brand new. And the person that's
Nice.
brand new is going to learn something from someone that's in a completely different industry than they are. So it intentionally forces people to get to know each other in a really kind of friendly, inclusive way that hopefully builds
Nice.
relationships long past the event ends.
That's fun. And like I said, I really want to try to make it to one of these days because it just
Yeah.
looks like a blast, and I hear so much about it. And I see teams get together and they form their own shows, and
Yeah.
I guess Creative Amplifiers is one that kind
Yep.
of came from the camp, and
Mhm.
there's quite a few. That's really cool. One of the things that Ecamm has done is an integration with Zoom, and so many people use Zoom and they're familiar with it. So has that been something that the users have said, yes, we love that, and that's a great thing, and it's a less of a learning curve, maybe.
I mean, every new feature is certainly going to add some level, of learning curve, and it's certainly
Mhm.
bringing together two really powerful, big pieces of software, right?
Right.
So I would say it has a learning curve. I
Mhm.
think it's really a great tool and a great resource for Ecamm customers who are looking to create better, more kind of engaging productions, presentations, webinars in the Zoom platform. It's
Okay.
also beneficial for anyone who is podcasting or doing a show and they want to be able to bring guests or co hosts in through Zoom as Zoom guests for whatever reason. And then it's really beneficial, honestly, for people who have no idea that we exist and are out in the Zoom world and they just, they're limited by, you know, one camera and it's difficult to share their screen or go through a presentation or do a lot of these things that they're trying to do in a Zoom space, but they're missing some of those important production tools that they may not
Okay.
even understand are out there. So it's our goal to be able to help people be better at video. And Zoom certainly
Okay.
helps us get in front of a much wider audience. And at the same time, it's really benefiting a subset of our, certainly not everyone in Ecamm will use this or find it to be
Right.
the
Right.
coolest thing ever. But the
Yeah.
ones who are using Zoom often, I think it does make it a lot more helpful not to have to be, have every conceivable window open and trying to form this
Sure.
connection between the two apps. Now it's a lot more automatic and it's certainly less windows. It's significantly easier to be able to do what they were trying to accomplish.
Nice. Well, I'm going to get more into using the Zoom integration in my stuff. I don't spend a whole lot of time in Zoom. I'm
I
not
I don't
like,
either, to be honest with you. I do
I
like,
mean,
calls here and there, but I'm not like
right.
a webinar I attend webinars and things, but I'm not a webinar person
Yeah.
myself, so mhm.
Yeah, so I'll integrate it at some point, but I'm not in a rush. Ecamm is so much. Well, I don't care for. I've got the free version of Zoom, so I've got the lowest possible
Yeah.
video quality, and coming from, like I said, a TV background, image quality is kind of a big deal to me. So
Yeah.
that's what I like about Ecamm. I can record in 4K and
Yeah.
have really nice high quality videos. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
if you don't need it, there's no need to add it in. I think this is difficult for a lot of Ecamm customers to understand is that
they think
like
you're forced to use it, right?
yeah, like just because there are a lot of features, like it's completely fine to like just close those windows and not use them.
Right.
They're there if you need them, like and that's great, but
Yes.
there's no additional cost for the Zoom integration and there's
Right.
no there's no issue if you don't use it. As you said, like what your use case might not make sense at all for you to use it because yeah, it would
Yeah.
definitely lower the quality of your video, right? So
Right.
use the interview feature that you're using now, use the other tools, and then if you need it, it's there. But if you don't ever need it, that's fine.
No
Like
big
it's
deal.
just no big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not gonna hold a gun to your head to make you use the Zoom integration.
No, definitely not.
Not. All right, so let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about what is probably one of your most fun things is the VHS Club podcast. And that's such a fun thing with you and Nat and the conversations that y'all have and everything. And it's just a hoot. And I enjoy
Thanks.
watching it. I almost never get to watch it live, but I do like to tune in later and watch and look at the chat window and see who was there and what they're talking about. So how'd that start?
Oh my gosh. Well, so Nat and I are childhood best friends. We grew up across the street from each other, running back and forth to each other's houses and
Sure.
predominantly spending a ton of time watching movies in each other's basements.
There you
And
go.
so I mean, part of it is that we now live in different countries, fairly far away from each other. We're about a 5-ish hour drive, I guess, from each other. And
Mm,
so we don't we certainly don't see each other as often as we did when we were kids. And
Right.
we had set up this like video chat back, maybe, I mean, at this point probably 6 or 7 years ago, where every Thursday night at 9 p.m. we'd have a video chat with each other, and most of that we would watch movies, or we would just kind of catch each other up on the week. And so after a while we were like, well, this could be a podcast. Like
Right.
this could be a
Why
show,
not?
like, where why not, like we could, we could open it up to our other friends. And it like at, at no point in the thought process of this could be a podcast were we like, we're going to make millions of dollars and have this huge audience. It was like we could open this up to our friends and family to watch in, like, or to participate if they want to participate, or we could kind of start this experience of, let's rewatch some of these amazing movies from our childhood and kind of live in this nostalgic time for a little bit together every week. And
Yeah.
it's been really fun. I'm always blown away by people that tell me they watch it. It's like consistently surprising to me, like that A, they know it exists, that B, they watch it, that C, they enjoy it. I For me, it's really about spending time with Nat, and it's about like taking a break from all the other stuff that I'm focused on, and
Mhm.
like decompressing it with something that I've always enjoyed doing. And so it's been really fun watching movies I've never seen, and then rewatching a lot of them that are, childhood favorites of mine.
It seems like with Nat, has she seen them all,
I
or are
feel
there
like
some
she's
that
seen
come up? And,
way more than me. Yeah, she's
okay,
definitely
it
seen way
makes
more than
sounds
me.
like it.
Her memory is also way better than mine, which is funny because I feel like as a kid, I was like always like almost photographic memory really good. And the older I get, the more I'm like, have I seen this? I like feel like
Right.
my parents all of a sudden, where they're always like, I think we've seen that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
she definitely is way higher than me in her total view count
And she
list.
is all in on it. You can tell. Are there any favorite episodes that you have personally that y'all have done? Not necessarily the move itself, but just doing the conversation.
Oh man. I mean, the recent Twister episode we did was so fun because we totally geeked out over storm chasing with
Nice.
Jennifer. That was a lot of fun. Um, I mean, I love our Pump Up the Volume episode, because that was in many ways like kind of the first one we thought of when we wanted to do the show. It's like one of our all-time favorites. Nat loves Christian Slater, so that's like the kind of
Yeah.
beginning of our Christian Slater obsession. We may even have to redo that one because I have people all the time that message and say like that's their favorite movie, that they want to be on the show to talk about that one. And
Oh,
I almost
funny.
feel bad we did it so early on. I'm like, oh
Ah,
no, we've already done that one. So maybe we'll have to do a
yeah.
take
You should
two with
probably
some
do
special guests.
a
Yeah.
follow up, and a community version of it or
Yeah,
something. I
exactly.
think that'd be fun. Yeah, and I got to get a Christian Tater shirt too. I was gonna. I tell you what, we're gonna do another episode, and we're gonna do one just on the VHS Club podcast with both you and Nat, if you guys
Deal.
are up for it. And
Yeah.
I'll get my Christian Tater shirt before then, so that I've got something to wear. I'm
Perfect.
sporting Ecamm today, in case
I know. Yeah, you're rocking it. I'm
nobody
bad. I'm just in black.
recognized. It's all good. I didn't have my. I finally got video like a dad shirts. So,
Oh,
um,
perfect.
yeah, I
Okay, we'll trade. I'll wear my Video Like a Dad shirt, and you can wear your VHS Club shirt, and we
perfect.
can
That'll work
trade back.
perfectly.
I love
The
it.
one that I originally, when I did it, is like, oh, that logo is really, really big. I mean, it was massive. So I did another version of it on the my fourth wall
Yeah.
merch site, but it was I did a more tasteful sized logo on it, but I still have the big one on there, and I forget, I called it something like, too big logo or something.
Perfect.
So that one's still
Yeah.
available.
The fails are the
But
best moments so
yes,
often.
yes, run with them.
Yeah.
All right. So, what advice would you give me if I were looking to build a community?
Mhm.
Um, and right now, my video content it's pretty broad. I mean, it really is. My thing is to help people make better videos,
Mhm.
and whether that be the camera that you're using, or editing, or just simple things. Even just using your smartphone camera. So it's a
Mhm.
little broad. I had a coach that was telling me to go a little more niche, maybe only
Yeah.
do Premiere Pro editing or something like that. But I haven't really built a community yet, and maybe that's the reason, because nobody knows what I do. So, what would be your advice for putting together a community?
Yeah, There's no I don't think there's like a one size fits all. So you need a space for them to congregate in as you start to build it, right? So
Right.
if you're like for us, it on the VHS Club, it started in the live chat. It started just people
Okay.
were showing up live every single week. And so then it was, the same people were showing up each week. And that was like, there's where our community is. And now we're thinking about ways that we can, find kind of longer time to hang out together, right? So that might be a Facebook group or a Discord or some other place where we
Mm,
can spend time together where when we're not actively recording.
gotcha.
But that was a good first step, right? So if you're recording a video, you don't have that live chat space for people to like come
Exactly.
and gather together. So whether that's Discord or Circle or Mighty Networks or Facebook or whatever it is, a defined space for people to spend time together. And then I mean, honestly, like, I don't know if I struggle with the niching because
Mm.
I'm like you, like I'm not niched at all.
Right.
And in some ways I fight against that. I would probably grow faster if I was, but I have such varied interests and backgrounds, and I feel like a bunch of different topics that I want to talk about and that I feel like are helpful for people. And so I don't know if you necessarily need to niche down, but if you find ways where your content is solving people's problems and you're
Mhm.
giving them the opportunity to participate. So maybe it's a series of videos where you bring a guest on and you do like live video editing with them, or like it doesn't have to be live streamed, but maybe it's like you're bringing, someone into your space to be able to help them publicly, then you've won them over into your community,
Okay.
and then they're helping to spread the word. Um it's really about just like making time and place for people to come together. You probably have a community that you don't know of yet because
Right.
because they're not in one place. So
Well, people and they comment, they don't necessarily want to know that much detail, but they like my personality. They like the
yeah.
way I present the videos with
Yeah.
humor and, my goofiness and all. So the dad humor really comes through hard.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the people, and that's the people I want to, you know, follow me and be
Yeah.
part of my community, is because those are the fun people that I like, hanging out with anyway. So um,
Yeah.
I I like you with Nat, I have some old friends that we're still really good friends. And I keep thinking, well, I'll put together something with them. It's a little trickier because they have varied interests, and we're trying to find out what would be a topic that would make sense to all of us. But with the
Mm.
personality types that we have, I think it would be fun to watch. It could be a
Yeah.
train wreck too, but it I wouldn't do it to like try to be the biggest channel on YouTube or anything like
Yeah.
that. That wouldn't be my interest. It would just be to get people to have fun and, laugh a little bit.
It's giving them a space to be involved too. Like I have really good friends who do a sports podcast, and I'm
Okay.
like the least sporty person out there. Like
Right.
hockey is probably the closest I get, and I don't like often play, and I haven't even really paid close attention recently. And the premise of their show is like they're literally just friends. They get together every week and they talk about sports, but they always have a guest on, and the guest segment is always just like geared towards the guest. So the
Okay.
majority of the podcast is still them talking about sports, and they have like little different segments, but then they weave in like whatever, like all the questions for the guest are related to like what the guest topic is. So like when they had me on, they were like, I would sit there, they would chat about sports, and then they'd be like, okay, Katie, what's your favorite movie that you've watched recently? And then they would go off on a tangent about that and then back about sports. So like I think you could still have people on and fit it in between the content, and that's probably fine because the you're introducing an audience that cares about movies or editing or sports or whatever the topic is to a personality or someone that you have like a connection with. So I think it makes for interesting content, and it's funny that like they've managed to be really successful at it, but they every time, almost everyone they have on, some people are sporty and will answer the sporty questions as well, but a
Sure.
lot of them are like, no idea, next
That's
question.
funny.
Like,
That
and
is good.
it works. So that's
Yeah.
almost a way to like keep your niche, but still introduce and involve people into the show that, then they're more interested in sharing about the show, or
Okay.
or tuning in more often because they've had that connection with you. They spent time on your show. They felt invited into the space. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't have to be every episode, but I think it's worked for me, and it certainly has worked for them. And just giving a little bit of time and place for extra people to be joining the show or popping in and out.
That's good. And I think for me, it would be something that if it wasn't going to be fun for me to do, I would just not do it well.
Yeah, same.
And I don't like right now, these episodes, I love doing these, but it's a bit of a stretch for me. I'm not used to doing it. So I'm only doing one a month for now.
Mhm,
If it takes off and I start doing a little more, then I'll do maybe twice a month or whatever. But
mhm.
I don't, I get panicky when I know it's like, oh no, I got to do an episode. I got to do an episode. And thank you for, your quick turnaround and agreeing to be on my episode, because I was
Of
kind of
course.
starting to panic for what am I going to put out next month. I did have one
No.
schedule with a guy, but scheduling conflicts
Oh,
between
yeah.
both he and I, it was
Mhm.
nuts, and so we never got it recorded. But it's still fun, and I want to make sure that it stays fun. If it's
Yeah.
not fun, like I said, I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna regret it and not want to do it at all.
exactly.
So that's the main thing. And this has been fun. So I thank you for being on with me and
Anytime.
spending time. And always love talking about Ecamm, because Ecamm is such a great thing. And I will say that if anyone is interested in learning more about Ecamm, I think you're still doing a 14-day free trial, right?
Yeah, we are always doing a 14-day free trial. There's no credit card needed. You literally just sign up. The only thing you need is a Mac computer, so we're Mac only software. So
Right.
sorry to our PC loving friends.
Yes.
But yeah, there's no obligation there at all. So it's just get in, try it, jump into the community, and practice with us. And if you
Yeah.
like it, great. And if not, then no worries.
Perfect. And I'll have an affiliate link in the description here. So,
Mhm.
also, if I'm going to do some videos about Ecamm, how to use Ecamm, that kind of
I
thing,
love it.
do you have any suggestions? That I know there's so many great ones out there. Adrian Salisbury. There's
Mhm.
so many people that I have learned so much about Ecamm through. It's that's how I learn. I just get on YouTube and somebody else tells me how to do it the correct way, and I find my favorites. But I
Yeah.
kind of, my approach is always, I just learned this new thing. Let me teach somebody else to do it. Do you
Yeah.
think that's a good approach?
I think so. And I think that there's lots of space for more videos because, again, like people find the person that they like click with, that
Hmm.
that's their favorite person that they learn with. And I think, I mean, the more that we broaden our audience, like as Ecamm, the more that we're reaching, people who are not video people, right? They're not
Right.
like, the whole Zoom audience. These are people who are by and large spending time in like meetings and webinars
Hmm.
and, sales calls and pitch decks and all of that kind of stuff. They don't know what a scene is. They don't know how to think
Right.
through building out video. They're used to, like, you record your video, like you record a video on your phone, or you record a video
Right.
with like a videographer and a camera in front of them. They don't know how to think through like a live to tape like process.
Hmm.
So there's probably a lot of content in there that I think we're still missing as Ecamm. And like if someone good like you, I think could really pull this off. Like someone could really make that process easier for them to understand. I think, we're still definitely missing a lot of content there. And I think it would be really helpful for people as they're getting into a tool like Ecamm because it's so big. It's got, lots of windows,
Yes.
lots of features, there's lots you can do. And if you're brand new and you open that up and you don't understand live streaming, even if you're not using this tool for that, if you don't understand how live streaming works, it's really hard to think your way through where to start. Like you're just kind of
Right.
like, what do I connect a camera and then I'm like, okay, and then what? So I think lots of opportunities still for some really great tutorial videos, and certainly even in spaces where there's lots of videos, like adding your own, flair and things that have been important to you as you've been up and running and learning how to use the tool is always important.
Yes. And that's, like I said, what I do. I find out what I don't know,
Hmm.
and it's like, ooh, okay, that's something I need to make a video. And I spend so much time doing short form videos that I haven't done a lot of long videos. In
Yeah.
fact, when I tried, it's like it's only a little over a minute. So as like
That's probably fine.
I can go a little more in depth on some things, but if I were doing
Yeah.
something where I was really showing step by step how to do something,
Yeah.
then I would spend more time on it. But that's definitely something I want to do. So if anybody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way? Where can they find you on social?
Oh my gosh. Well, I am hiding behind all of the Ecamm channels. If you search
Okay.
ECAMM on virtually any social platform or on our website, you will find all of the different places. If you go ecamm.com/community, that's where all of our shows and our community spots and places are easily found. Me personally, so you can find me over at the vhsclubpod.com is our website. We're live most Thursday nights at 9 p.m.
Most
Eastern,
Thursday nights.
most Thursday nights recording our episodes live. So as Darrell was saying, you can jump in and join us in the live studio audience, as we jokingly refer to it, or you can listen or watch whenever you want. And you can always email me, katie@ecamm.com. I'm happy to answer any questions or get to know you better or anything in between.
Fantastic. Well, okay. So we'll have to get together to find out when we're going to do a
Yeah,
special on the VHS Club podcast with you and
I
Nat.
love it.
We'll get that all set up and it'll be a lot of fun. But thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope everybody will go out and buy Ecamm.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
Good. We'll do it again soon, Katie. Thanks again for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and go to videolikeadad.com to sign up for my free newsletter and join the Video Like a Dad community. You can also find my sweet merch there. And you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Video Like a Dad. I'll see you soon.